let's start the session about general essay writing for UPSC Mains 2023. Essay and ethics are highly scoring papers in UPSC. In fact, essay, ethics and optional. If you take care, you are going to be in the top list in the final examination. So, of late you are observing the essay paper is flooded with full of literary or reflective essays. What is this essay writing is all about? What is the basic modality or etiquette we should follow while writing general essays in UPSC paper? UPSC Mains, how to write general essay. First of all, I wish to give you some general tips with respect to essay writing. Particularly, there might be the essays on core subjects like women empowerment or education, any static subject, static essay. And I also wish to explain with special emphasis on literary or reflective essays. First of all, for any essay writing, I wish to explain you the basic structure, how to write an essay. Apart from that, what are the basic things that should be followed, the basic etiquette or modality that should be followed while writing an essay. For every essay, you should give a heading. Without writing the title of the essay, you should not directly venture into the essay. The first important thing is, if you are writing an essay, you should again write the heading of that essay. Most of the aspirants think that already essay was printed, essay topic was printed on the question paper. So generally they don't again write the heading. But writing the heading is mandatory for essay. The first thing, you should write the heading. The second thing about the essay is, you should divide the essay into paragraphs. That should be a mandatory thing. First is title or heading. Second is dividing the essay into paragraphs. Average, each paragraph of an essay should consist of 5 to 6 sentences or 7 sentences. In every page, you should see the division of the paragraph. The division of the paragraph should be shown. This is a second mandatory requirement for the essay. And many aspirants will ask it out. Can you have many subheadings in the essay? Putting or having many subheadings are not advisable. You can go with 3-4 subheadings, but the essay should not be replete. Essay should not be full of too many subheadings. Few subheadings are enough while writing an essay. And the next important thing, there should be a proper introduction and proper conclusion. There should be a proper introduction and proper conclusion for an essay. And more importantly, whenever you are starting an essay, introducing an essay, don't define the topic of the essay. Very, very important. Whenever you are writing the first paragraph, in the first paragraph, please don't define the topic. For example, you are writing an essay on women empowerment. Don't start your essay. Women empowerment means social, political and economic empowerment of women. Please don't start your essay with the definition of an essay. This is the other important thing. Never start an essay with the definition. For example, you are writing an essay on artificial intelligence or Internet of Things. Never start saying that artificial intelligence means or IoT means. Never do that. The first paragraph of the essay is called lead paragraph. The first paragraph of an essay is called a lead paragraph. If you read Hindu paper lead article or editorial, they don't define this in the first paragraph itself. First paragraph, you can start with a recent example. First paragraph, you can start with an anecdote. First paragraph, you can start with a quote. First paragraph, you can start with some sayings or speeches of leaders or great people, but never define the essay in the first paragraph. And the other thing is, many aspirants will write, even in previous scripts I have seen, let us discuss in this essay. They will be talking about the essay. I am going to write in this essay. Let us discuss this essay, what is this essay is all about. These type of usages should be avoided. I am going to explain this in this essay. This word, in this essay I am going to do that. In this essay I am going to do this. These type of phrases and sentences should be avoided. Remember this. In this essay I am going to discuss about this. In this essay I am going to analyze this. Never use such statements. Don't do that. Already the examiner knows that you are writing an essay. So never use the word in this essay I am going to this. In this essay I am going to do that. Don't do that. Okay. And what is the difference between general essay which we write in our colleges, schools, and general essay which we write in civil service examination? General essay which we write in civil service examination is not that general. Remember, it is not that general. It should be like proper, it should composed of proper data, proper flow, proper general studies enrichment, and it should also have proper facts and proper structure. It's not like just an essay which you write in the schools or colleges, but should be a holistic essay which is composed of plethora of things or plenty of things. Remember, general essay also you need to prepare well before the exam and go to the exam. That is very, very important. And just because last year we got all reflective or literary essays, that does not mean that this year also will get all the literary essays. There might be a chance that you may get some subjective essays which is related to the recent current affairs or subjects, and some essays which are reflective. So prepare for both. Prepare for both the eventualities. 4 essays with respect to the subject, 4 essays reflective, or entire subjective essays or entire reflective essays. You can not predict what type of essay structures they might give. And one more important thing, never anticipate that the same essay which you have prepared in the home or in the institution, the same essay will get in the examination, but try to develop a structure. That is also very, very important. Okay, so let's have a detailed discussion of the essays, how the trends are going on, how the things are going on in UPSC in the last few years. In the last few years, how the essay writing structures and what is the expectation. And you all know that in GS papers we don't have a choice, but in essay paper we have a choice. In essay paper, general essay paper, we have a choice. Out of 4 essays, in section A, you are expected to choose 1 essay. In section B, out of 4 essays, you are expected to choose 1 essay. So each essay you have 1.5 hour time. Each essay you have 1.5 hour time. And while venturing into essay, don't directly start the essay. Before deciding what type of essay you should write, you should make a synopsis in the last page rough work. At least 10 minutes of brainstorming is needed before writing an essay. At least 10 minutes of brainstorming is needed 100%. And while judging which essay should be which essay we should choose, or which essay we should actually take up, never think that whether how many people will choose this essay, or this is a regular essay, everybody will write, I want to write a new essay or unique essay. Don't think like that. So while choosing an option of which essay you have to write or which essay you have to choose, think about your own convenience, think about your own comfortability, and think about your own data availability, think about your own material availability, all these things, rather than judging yourself with respect to in comparison with others. That is also very important point. So for example, I do remember 15 years back in essay paper, there's an essay on local self-governments. Some students thought that everybody will write an essay on local self-governments, will take a different essay. So, and some others write generally. For example, if there is an essay on women empowerment or women related essay, students think that everybody will write, why should we choose that? Don't think in that perspective. Don't think in others' perspective in the examination hall. Think in your own perspective while choosing the topic of the essay. This is the most important crucial point. Please remember this. For example, tomorrow in essay paper, if you get an essay on environment, never judge the essay topic by considering others' perspective or by considering the other aspirants' ideas. Never think like that. Just follow your own conscience while deciding your essay topic. This is the most important thing. So coming to the essays, what type of essays we can expect? See, in the static portion, if you see regular essays, I have seen a trend. I have observed a trend. That trend is one essay generally they are giving on innovation and development. They are linking two different things. One is innovation, second is development. This trend is coming up in the examination every year almost. Innovation is a key factor for development, or development and innovation linkage. This is one aspect where we can expect an essay in UPSC. In the same way, the other static area which we can actually expect is inclusive growth. Inclusive growth. Growth with inclusivity is the other trending area. Growth with inclusivity. And the third thing is women related essays. What do you mean by women related essay? Women in politics, women empowerment, women safety. Women in politics, women empowerment, women safety. For example, recently we got an essay. The hand that rocks the cradle can become the hand that rules the world. The hand that rocks the cradle can become the hand that rules the world. In the same way, in 2016 essay paper, we got an essay. If development is not engendered, it will be endangered. If development is not engendered, it will be endangered. So, you can expect some metaphor, some statement or some quote with respect to women. Women is always an enticing topic in UPSC essay writing. Women related essay. One essay you have to prepare. Particularly women in politics, women safety, women empowerment, women led development. We don't just need women empowerment. What we need is women led development. This statement might come in the essay paper. This statement might appear in the essay paper. In the same way, if you observe, the government is time and again promoting the concept of Amrit Kal. India at 2047. Your vision of Amrit Kal. It might be a question, static, from the static essay portion or from general essay style, you may read a question. The vision of India by 2047. How India is going to be at 2047, India at 2047. This question also you can expect. In the same way, in the post-COVID era, health related essay. Any health related essay with respect to India. Recently you have seen the Rajasthan government passing Right to Health Act also. So, in this perspective, one essay relating to health, one essay relating to education, particularly RTE Act, National Research Foundation Bill, and education, higher education, critical thinking, inclusive education, or you have seen the essay, the nation building is made in the classrooms. Nations are built in the classrooms. If you build a proper classroom, if the education is proper nation can be built. So where you are going to build a nation? In the classroom. So similar statements might come, or even they might relate education and values. Like say for example, education without character makes a man a more clever devil. Education without character makes a man a more clever devil. So similar statements might come in ethics or essay. Single statement they might ask you to write an essay also. Education without character makes a man a more clever devil. In the same way, India is hosting G20 this year. India is hosting G20 this year. You might actually anticipate an essay. India as Vishwaguru. India as a world leader. You can actually contemplate this essay with respect to international relations, environment, tolerance, unity in diversity, human resource, demographic dividend, in all perspectives. In all, India's nuclear policy, India have still till now not accepted or adopted doctrine of preemption, all these things. So you can also expect concern India as Vishwaguru, or India is a role model to the world, as India is hosting G20. Or if they want to hit an essay, they might directly ask India as a leader of G20, what should be the India's agenda, because by September 15th you will get a better idea on that. In fact, I do remember in the year 2006, India had a nuclear deal talk with USA. In 2006 essay, general essay, you can see direct essay hitting the essay paper, India-US nuclear deal, direct essay. That was a big news at that time in IR. Suddenly the news appeared. Even if you see in 2017 essay paper, 2017 general essay paper, there's a talk that there's a lot of news about India and non-aligned movement. Indian Prime Minister in that particular year abstained. He chose not to go in person to NAM summit. Instead, he sent vice president to the NAM summit. In 2017 essay paper, we got an essay, relevance of non-alignment movement in multipolar world. Relevance of non-alignment movement in multipolar world. I have observed this trend. The trending topic of IR in that particular year is appear in the essay paper. I do remember in 2016 when I wrote my mains, there was a Kaveri water dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. And 2016, if you see essay paper, you can see interstate river water disputes in India. You can see the topic, interstate river water disputes in India. So you can expect this. Even this year, we might get a question on secularism versus communalism, similar topics. India is like a melting pot. India is a land of unity and diversity. And whether Indian democracy, you might get an essay, even you might expect an essay on democracy also. That is also a very, very important topic. If you see, recently you have seen the issue of farm bills. You may get a topic on agrarian reforms and agriculture. Agrarian reforms and agriculture. And with respect to India, just now I told you India is a Vishwaguru. You might expect an essay on India's soft power. India's soft power. Yoga diplomacy. You can say vaccine diplomacy. You can say cricket diplomacy. So many things. India's soft power. This is also a very important topic. And recently of late you are observing the digital technology. India is digital India concept. India is going far beyond its capacity also with respect to digital technology. So digital divide, digital technology. In the same way, in GS also you can expect similar questions like internationalization of rupee, all these things, digital rupee, these concepts. So digital divide, digital technology, this is also very important in essay. And media, social media and its impact. Media, social media and its impact. And one more important thing that is trending, youth culture today. Youth and youth culture today. You might link this essay with demographic dividend concept also. Youth culture today, You might link this essay with demographic dividend concept also. And the other important thing is the evergreen topic. The evergreen topic in essay writing is environment, sustainable development. Environment and sustainable development. For example, they might directly give a quote: Earth can satisfy everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. They might ask you to write on this. Earth can satisfy everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. Gandhi. Or they might give a statement: till the last tree is cut, last fish is caught, last drop of water gets polluted, mankind will not understand that they can survive by eating money. They can't survive by eating money. Mankind will not understand that they can't survive by eating money. So similar quotes or anecdotes they might give on sustainable development. So you have to speak about Panchamrit promises. You have to speak about pollution. You have to speak about Delhi pollution. You have to speak about then COP27. You have to speak about IPCC reports, international level, national level, regional level. And even you need to speak about global warming and its effects on agriculture, all these things. So there are, you need to prepare well for an essay on sustainable development. There is a highly static topic. We can even expect this year the topic called sustainable development. And the evergreen topic, polity topic in essay writing is cooperative federalism. The topic is trending even today. The governance controversial issues in GS and essay writing. The cooperative federalism is a myth or reality. Cooperative federalism day by day is becoming confrontative federalism, or Indian federalism is asymmetrical federalism. Similar model essay we can expect. Similar model essay we can expect in UPSC general essay. And urbanization, one trending topic, though very static, you can expect. And freedoms, particularly freedom of speech and expression and democratic dissent, minority toleration. These type of essays you can expect. And this year, my guess is, if you observe the recent trends in India, the government of India is trying to wither away or trying to erase the colonial legacies in India, certain colonial outdated legacies. For example, Rajpath was renamed as Kartavya Pad. For example, Rajpath was renamed as Kartavya Pad. So you might get an essay on colonialism and its legacies and how India is withdrawing from colonial legacies. Colonialism, its legacies, and how India is withdrawing from colonial legacies. You might get direct essay on this. You might get direct essay on the colonialism, its legacies, and how India is withdrawing from the colonial legacies. I expect this question this time about colonial legacies and how government of India changing the names, colonial names, and changing the colonial structures. All these things we can expect this year. That's a very important thing. And the other thing is rule-based world order. Rule-based world order is a gigantic myth. Rule-based world order is a gigantic myth. And you may get one more important thing is the trending Revdi culture. Revdi culture, populism versus welfareism. The Revdi culture, populism versus welfareism. Even that is also very, very important. Populism versus welfareism. So the star mark topic we can expect is colonial legacies. That is very important. And the other thing is technology. That is also very important. Technology, colonial legacies, freedoms, including freedom of press is very important. Health and education, that is also very important. And in ethics and essay, the common topic is attitude. Attitude. For example, they may give a topic like this: everything can be taken away from a man except one thing. Everything can be taken away from a man except one thing. The last of human freedoms, to choose one's own attitude in any given set of circumstances. to choose one's own attitude in every given set of circumstances. Viktor Frankl's quote, freedom of attitude. They might give a question on this essay topic. And one more topic which we can expect this year is hyper-nationalism. For example, I'll give a statement given by Rabindranath Tagore. I will not buy glass for price of diamonds. I will not buy glass for the price of diamonds. And I will never allow patriotism to triumph over humanity. I am repeating, I will not buy glass for the price of diamonds. I will not buy glass for the price of diamonds, and I will never allow patriotism to triumph over humanity. Given by Rabindranath Tagore. This is about nationalism and hyper-nationalism. Nationalism and hyper-nationalism concept. This concept we can expect in this year's essay paper. This concept we can completely expect this year's essay paper. This is also very important. The topic is also very, very important. Okay. And the other thing we can say in this year's essay paper is, so let's go with now reflective essays or literary essays. Reflective essays or literary essays. Let's have the themes with respect to reflective essays or literary essays. First of all, why most of the students feel that reflective essays or literary essays are difficult, and why should we actually prepare for this, and how we can prepare for literary essays or reflective essays. First of all, it's something like the question will be looks like abstract. It looks like an abstract statement, and most of the students think that they don't have the material to write 1000 words or 1200 words on these abstract statements. That's the reason why they worry. But if you prepare well for the reflective essays, even if you are made to write 2 reflective essays in 3 hours, you can write. The only precondition is you need to prepare well for the reflective essays. So what is the material to be followed, and what are the areas what are the themes UPSC is repeatedly asking in reflective essays? If you can find the pulse of UPSC, the themes of UPSC, then automatically you will understand the reflective essays concept. Let's see. So why do we worry about reflective essays or literary essays? How to actually crack the secrets of literary essays? Let's go with that. First of all, in literary essays, the exact topic or the exact question is invisible or inexplicit. For example, in general essay, they might ask about electoral reforms or the pulse of an Indian voter. This is a normal essay. Or they may ask you whether Indian democracy. So we'll understand they're asking about how Indian voters behave, or where is Indian democracy really, is it functioning? Or they may ask you the role of science and technology in international relations. So the questions are direct with respect to core essays. But with respect to literary essays, the questions are mystical. They are abstract. Sometimes they look very vague. So it's very difficult, we find it difficult to understand or comprehend the meaning of it sometimes. But if you see all the previous question papers of reflective essays, UPSC previous question papers, to an extent you can actually guess what type of essays they might give, what type of themes, and you can prepare examples, you can prepare anecdotes, you can prepare some metaphors, and you can prepare some good introductions and conclusions, and you can prepare notes on some good personalities to add value to our essay. So let's see what are the reflective essays they are asking about and how to prepare a reflective essay or literary essay. For example, I'll take one example. Life is a journey from human being to being humane. Life is a journey from human being to being humane. Okay, so every living creature takes birth, and human being also takes birth. Being humane, having qualities. Human being is a sentient being. Sentience means he has some empathy, he has some feelings, he has some compassion, he has a purpose to serve in this world. He has some empathy, he has some compassion, he has some purpose to serve in this world. He is a being of fifth order. He is a being of fifth order. What is the difference between other living creature and human being? Human being have sentience. Sentience means the quality of a feeling, the quality of an experience, the quality of an empathy, the quality of self-reflection, the quality of right mindfulness. This is called sentience. So he can experience, he can carry the feeling for a long time, he can be empathetic with that feeling. So life is a journey between, at birth we are humans, but by our deeds we are humans. We are human beings. Gandhi was a human being by birth. He has taken birth like every one of us, but he became human with his deeds. Mother Teresa was a human being, but she was humane with her unconditional love towards humanity. Nelson Mandela was a human being, but he took up the responsibility against apartheid. He became a humane. Greta Thunberg was a human being, but she wanted to save the future. She launched a movement called Fridays for Future. Anna Hazare, a simple human being, led a big movement, anti-corruption movement. He led a very big movement, anti-corruption movement. Life is a journey from a human being to being humane. So empathy, how many lives you have touched? How many lives you have changed? How many lamps you have actually lit? What is the purpose of your life? So humanity, human being is a theme here. Human values is a theme here. Purpose of human life is a core theme. If you observe in reflective essays, if they give 4 essays, at least one essay will be on purpose of human life. If you can collect the details of great people's lives, like Swami Vivekananda, like Ramana Maharshi, like Periyar, who led self-respect movement, like Sri Narayana Guru, like Bhagat Singh, like Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. For that matter, Mr. T.N. Seshan, who was a former Chief Election Commissioner, T.M. Krishna, Bejawada Wilson. T.M. Krishna was a musician, but he got Raman Magsaysay. He has taken music to Dalit Vadas, to LGBT communities. So, life is a journey from a human being to being humane. So, purpose of life, if you get a question on purpose of life, you should collect plenty of examples, plenty of anecdotes, stories, and the basic purpose of human life, perspectives, self-reflections, and the satisfaction in human life, eudaimonia, EUDAIMONIA, Aristotle's eudaimonia, the satisfaction or contentment which you get by leading a good life, the satisfaction or contentment which you get by leading a good life, eudaimonia. So prepare one topic on human life, being human, purpose of human life with plenty of examples. You can expect an essay from this area, a reflect essay. For example, one more essay we got recently. Ship in the harbor is always safe, but that is not the purpose of the ship. That is not for what the ship is meant for. The ship in the harbor is always safe, but that is not what the ship is actually meant for. The purpose of human life is not being self-centered, not being cushioned or cocooned, not being only living in the comfort zone. You should be courageous enough. For example, as an individual, you should be courageous enough to sail in the troubled waters. As a nation, you should have courage to become a leader. You should take up the responsibility. In the international level, the purpose of any country is to build peace. So you should never think that I am by myself. I should be in the safe zone. Unless you expand, unless you perform, unless you go beyond your contours, you don't actually serve the purpose of your life. So if you observe the trend, the purpose of human life, the purpose of life, the purpose of your existence, the purpose of your survival, the questions, the anecdotes or the statements, the quotes might change, but the theme is why you are here. Why you are here. What is the purpose of your life? Why you should not be courageous? You should be courageous. Why you should not take risks? You should take risks. Why human should be self-centered? He should never be self-centered. So these are the theme. This is a theme which you can observe in the examination. And next theme which we can observe all the time is happiness. Happiness is one important thing that is observing where we can observe in ethics and essay, reflect essay. For example, in 2014 ethics paper, you can see what is happiness according to you. What is happiness according to you? Okay, in 2014, if you see ethics paper, whereas if you see the general essay paper, a smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. A smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. If you see the regular trends, for example, Gandhi's quote, happiness is when what you think, what you do, and what you say are in perfect harmony. If you get the same title in the essay, same quote as an essay, what you are going to write. So, definitely you can expect happiness as a theme. For example, the happiness of the ruler does not reflect in his personal happiness, does not lie in his personal happiness. It is in the happiness of the subjects alone lies the happiness of the king. It is in the happiness of the subjects alone lies the happiness of the king. So, one topic is purpose of life. Second topic is happiness. Second topic is happiness. So, if you see in the recent essay paper, you got one essay. You cannot step twice in the same river. You cannot step twice in the same river. So, river is something like flowing. Once you step inside, the same water, second time you will not get the same circumstance and same water. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new day. Accept the change. Change is a constant thing. Change is the only thing which is constant. Even the statement might be an essay in this year's essay paper. The only thing that is constant in human life is change. The only thing that is constant in human life is change. So, previous year, or I think 2021 essay, you cannot step twice in the same river. You cannot step twice in the same river. Okay, for example, take Venezuela. Venezuela once was a very prosperous country, oil-rich country. Now, people are fleeing away from Venezuela. They don't want to stay in Venezuela. Venezuela could have arrested this eventuality with a foresight. Because it acted without foresight, Venezuela now have become a bankrupt country. It is in sovereign debt crisis. It was flooded with inflation, full of problems. So once you learn some lesson, you should actually, there is no second life or there is no second chance to learn the lesson again. You need to learn the lesson at once. The best example is you cannot step into the same river twice, in the same water twice. Okay, for example, now you are rich or now you have enough money. If you keep on spending without following austerity measures, tomorrow you may be at loss. Same for example, environment. If you start contaminating environment now, at some point of time, you may actually cause irreversible damage to it. In the same way, democracy. In the same way, you need to build up proper systems. Once you learn a lesson, there might not be a second chance to learn the same lesson again. You have tried this at a national level, international level, societal level, individual level, environmental perspective, psychological perspective, various perspectives you can take up and draw parallels and examples with human life. Okay, that is also very, very important. So, one is about, I can tell you, purpose of life. Second theme is about happiness, as I told you, and I have given an example also. A smile is chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. This essay, I think, that was asked last year. A smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. Here, smile does not just mean a facial expression. Here, smile does not just mean a facial expression. Smile does not necessarily mean a facial expression. It has to come from within, stirred by positive thought. Smile, here, whenever you read a literary essay, don't always try to understand literary meaning of it. Try to understand the hidden meaning of it, discrete meaning inside it. Try to reflect on the hidden or discrete meaning inside that particular statement. So with positivity, you can chase all challenges. With positivity, you can overcome all challenges. Even you can mean that a smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. If you read this statement, you might feel that. If you read this statement, you might feel that this is only about smile. How can I write 1,000 words on that? No, this is not just about smile. This is not just about smiling in problems. This is not just about smiling in all type of emotions. No, not at all. Here, smile does not necessarily reflect facial expression. Here, smile does not necessarily reflect a facial expression. It has to come from within. It has to come from within, stirred by positive thoughts. It has to come from within, stirred by positive thoughts. For example, Israel had a minimal water resource. But Israel now, with positivity, with willpower, with all its steadfastness, have become a role model to the world in water conservation techniques, agricultural production, vertical farming, and Israel followed drip irrigation technology. It have become leader in drip irrigation technology. In fact, desalination. Israel had lot of techniques. Israel evolved lot of techniques. A very small country with minimal water resource maximized its production. So, it has a challenge of scarcity in water resource, but it has overcome that challenge. It eventually became leader in that agricultural production and maximum crop and minimum drop. Okay, minimum drop with maximum crop. This concept of Israel. So, you can take international best practices. For example, Gandhi. With gentleness, you can shake the world. With gentleness, you can send back everyone. With gentleness, we can handle every person, every enemy. So, a smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. In all toughness, in all challenges in life, in all gloomy situations in life, you can handle the problems in life with positivity, with calmness, with composure, with all, no, I can say, right mindfulness. That is also very, very important. So a smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. You have to interpret. For example, a smile, happiness. See, there are some sibling words. Whenever you are writing reflective essays, whenever you are writing literary essays, identify the key words in the statement. For example, smile, happiness. Then you have to actually write the synonyms or sister words and their meanings in one paragraph. For example, happiness, pleasure, comfort, joy, blissfulness, delightfulness, all these things. Okay, you have to give the meaning of all these words. Happiness, pleasure, comfort, joy, blissfulness, delightfulness. For example, happiness is contentment. Happiness is long-standing. Happiness arouses our consciousness. Happiness we get out of a lot of satisfaction. So that is happiness. On the other hand, pleasure or joy is a transient, temporary thing. It's a transient and temporary thing. Bliss is something like a high state of happiness where we are like blessed ones. So whenever you are writing about happiness, you should also, one paragraph you should also define what is happiness, what is pleasure, what is joy, what is bliss, what is comfort and other things. Comfort is a physical thing. Are you comfortable? I am at my comfort. So for example, Charvakas. In ethics you might have studied Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka philosophy. They feel that pleasure is the happiness. Pleasure is the end of life. Altruistic hedonism. 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 Hedonism is the end of life. According to Charvakas. Okay. Whereas if you see other philosophies in human life, in Hindu philosophies particularly, Sankhya, Mimamsa, they believe in happiness, contentment. You are whenever you are writing a reflective essay, you should also write the sibling words. For example, I have taken happiness. In happiness, pleasure, comfort, joy, blissfulness, delightfulness, all these things. Along with that, you can also go with some comparisons. Say Bhutan developed gross happiness index. And recently in India, in one state, there's a happiness ministry. And Sustainable Development Solutions Network, they are releasing happiness report, global happiness report. So happiness, what is happiness? Happiness is a measure of generosity internationally. Happiness is a measure of non-corruption. Happiness is also a perception. Happiness is also a perception. So, what is happiness? Or what is the purpose of your happiness? What is happiness according to you? What is happiness? What is the purpose of happiness? What is happiness according to you? For all these things, you should develop some quotes. For example, Kautilya said, King's happiness does not lie in his personal happiness. It is in the happiness of the subjects alone lies the happiness of the king. King's happiness does not lie in his personal happiness. It is in the happiness of the subjects alone lies the happiness of the king. So you should develop some of the important stories with respect to happiness. So with respect to purpose of life. As I am telling, in UPSC you can observe the themes, purpose of life, happiness. For example, recently there are two essays. Directly or indirectly, they are linked with happiness. Directly or indirectly, they are linked with happiness. For example, the process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. The process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. So if you see, what is process of self-discovery? Our choices, our aspirations, our hobbies, our goals, our mindfulness, our fitness levels, our fulfillment of our life, our mindfulness, our value system, all these things, now it was outsourced. What is outsourced? They are technologically outsourced. For example, we'll have an Apple Watch and we'll see how much time you have exercised, how many steps we have actually made today, or you will actually go to your Facebook and see how many likes you got. When you wear a new dress, you'll post it in the Instagram and see how many friends actually commented on it. So every aspect of human life is technologically outsourced. In fact, Instagram, Telegram, in fact, we can see we require external validation for our contentment. We require external validation or from external sources which are technologically driven for our contentment. So the happiness or the process of self-discovery means the process of self-reflection, the process of knowing thyself, the process of what you are is now judged not by yourself but by others. In the olden days, great people used to do penance, tapassu. They used to discover themselves. And of late, in the recent past, before the advent of media, before the advent of social media and digital technology, we used to take guidance from elders. Now we are very close to our technology and we want everything validated within seconds through technologically outsourced methods like Facebook, like our status or Instagram, Telegram, all these things. So each and every aspect, there is no place in earth or heaven that was not touched by social media today. Every aspect of human life, we are being watched, we are being judged, we are being stamped, and we want that. And we actually love it. Sometimes we actually miss it. Sometimes we miss ourselves. We are losing the human touch because of this technological outsourcement of all these things. So this is one essay which actually has a lot of scope, but many aspirants leave it because they think that's a very small essay. But so many things, including from, see, for example, in our childhood we used to listen to the stories of the moon, Chandamama stories, the stories of moon. Now we are able to touch the moon, but again we can go to Mars. But still, the self-discovery is our unique thing, but we are missing that. We are being judged by various aspects, external sources, not by ourselves. For example, including our mark sheets, our ratings, our examination systems, our processes, all these things are completely into that. So kindly try to find out the words, keywords. Self-discovery is a keyword, knowing thyself or knowing yourself. Technology is a keyword. Missing social relationships, missing human relations is a keyword. Missing social relationships, missing human relationships is a keyword. We are not living with the technology. Okay. Instead, we are living in the technology. We are not living with the technology. Instead, we are living in the technology. So these things we need to write it up on. So these type of, even we are not living with the technology. In fact, we are living in the technology. These type of statements we might get in the question paper. Or what we need is not women empowerment but women-led development. These are the questions which you can expect this year. And one more question on happiness which we got. The philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is a chimera. I am repeating the question. The philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is a chimera. So even this question was asked in 2021, I think. 2021 or 2022? 2021. So this question is related to happiness. The philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, while materialism is chimera. Having no desire or no aspiration is utopian. Generally, we are humans. We will have desires and aspirations. At the same time, extreme materialism. Too much of materialism is like a myth. It's like a illusion. It's like an illusion. So, one is completely like a sannyasi. Second is completely too much of materialism, which is never ending. So there are two extremes. One is the philosophy of wantlessness, like Buddha, and the other is too much of materialism. So this is very, very important topic. They might give a question on man becoming too much of materialist. For example, Karl Marx said, all human relations are material relations. So these are two extremes. So humans, what they want basic food, housing, and then slowly they want power. Slowly they will become too much of materialists. So idealism versus realism, two extremes. So what we require is golden mean, a midway path, a middle path. That is very, very important. So we need desires. Humans need desires. Desire drives humans towards innovation, creativity, and desires helps us to advance ourselves. So desire is very, very important. We should keep on having our desires. That's very important. So without desire, our life will be stagnated. Without desires, we'll be complacent. Without desires, our life will be stagnated. Without desires, we'll become complacent. And without desires, an empty mind is a devil's workshop. It is better to remain occupied. Since too much of leisure sometimes lead to us a state of dystopia. Too much of leisure will end up in dystopia. Means we'll become completely complacent. So we need to have desires. At the same time, extreme desires, too much of materialism, too much of greed is not advisable. So what we want is a middle path. For that reason, the philosophy of wantlessness is utopian, and while materialism is chimera. Chimera means imagination, illusion. And imagination and illusion. So Buddhist philosophy says samsara is full of sukha and dukkha. Buddhist philosophy says samsara is full of sukha and dukkha. It is a never-ending cycle. So I told you already, there are two important things that are coming up in essay. One is purpose of life, second is happiness, and I'm trying to give so many examples of life, happiness, and the other thing is, if you see, let's go with the other essay. They might give about a human value or empathy. For example, forgiveness is a weapon of the strong. The weak can never forgive. Only the strong can forgive. Forgiveness is a weapon of the strong. The weak can never forgive. Only the strong can forgive. Forgiveness is the weapon of the strong. The weak can never forgive. Only the strong people can forgive. So, there might be a metaphor in the statement. What's a metaphor? For example, she is shining like a light. She is shining like a light. You are comparing she with a light. You are quoting a example or giving a best extrapolation or best meaning for her appearance or for her value system. She is shining like a light. Or for example, comparing the characteristic of a light to the human being. Comparing the characteristic of a light to the human being or a human face. For example, her heart is a golden heart. For example, her heart is a golden heart. Comparing her heart with gold. Comparing the characteristics of gold. That's the finest. You want to exemplify her heart as the finest heart. So, in essay, reflective essays, you can read some metaphors. For example, I told you a few minutes back, a ship in the harbor is always safe, but that is not what the ship is meant for. Here they are comparing ship with human life. Ship is a metaphor here. Okay, it's a metaphor. They are comparing the ship with the human life. So you are expected to identify the metaphors. You are expected to identify the real characteristics of a metaphor. Okay, in writing reflective essays, you are expected to identify the metaphors. You are expected to relate the metaphors' characteristics with the human beings. So that is what. Here, the weak can never forgive. In the same way, I'll tell you, technology. Technology is a good servant but a bad master. Technology is a good servant but a bad master. Comparing technology with two metaphors like servant and master. Servant and master. In the same way, comparing ship with human life. For example, a ship in the harbor is always safe. Ship has human life has a resilient capacity. So identify the key characteristics of the metaphor. For example, technology is a good servant and a bad master. Technology is a good servant and a bad master. Good servant enhances our capability. Our good servants enhances capabilities, and also they will aid the production in all aspects. Technology helps in our capability. Technology assists us. Technology actually pushes us forward, make us to get more advancement. So technology helps human life, no doubt about it. At the same time, if you don't handle the technology properly, it will become a bad master. Technology as a good servant and a bad master. So you are comparing technology with a servant and also a master. For example, take the example of the movie Robo. You can use Robo movie, Rajnikant movie, in the anecdote. For example, in the first half of the movie, how Robo served as a good servant. In the first half of the movie, how Robo served as a good servant. In the second half of the movie, Robo got emotions, Robo got passions, Robo went to the extreme, and how it became a bad master. As the movie progresses, the Robo in the second half acquires ambitions, aspirations, uncontrolled emotions. Finally, it became a bad master with no consideration for humanity. Robo unleashes the devil and brings destruction to the humanity. Robo unleashes the devil and brings destruction to the humanity. So, if you see certain things, you will understand how they are using metaphors, quotes, anecdotes, all these things. So I'm just talking about forgiveness again. Let's come back to forgiveness. Forgiveness is a weapon of the strong. Weak can never forgive. First of all, you should write the attributes of the weak and the strong. Who are weak and who are strong? Who are weak and who are strong? Forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is a deliberate attempt. Forgiveness is a deliberate attempt of letting go. For example, anger, vengeance, resentment associated towards the wrongdoer. Forgiveness is a deliberate attempt. It's not unintentional. Forgiveness is a deliberate attempt of letting go the anger, vengeance, resentment associated towards the wrongdoer. Forgiveness is something like overcoming the emotional burden. So if you carry vengeance, if you carry that bad feeling, if you carry that sorrowfulness, you will have that emotional burden. Forgiveness is overcoming the emotional burden. Forgiveness is coming out of past which is really painful. If you forgive, you will come out of the past which is really painful. Forgiveness is coming out of the past which is really painful. Hence, we are embracing the process of healing and more interest in personal growth. If you forgive, You will embrace the process of healing. You will embrace the process of healing, and you are more interested in personal growth. You are more focused towards your personal growth. Weak people are generally emotionally vulnerable. Weak people are generally emotionally vulnerable. Weak people generally hold grudge and want to seek revenge. Generally, weak people carry that revenge, carry that grudge, and always want to seek the revenge. So, only strong people can forgive. Forgiveness requires so much of emotional strength and emotional resilience. Forgiveness requires so much of emotional strength and emotional resilience. Then you have to write the attributes of strong people and weak people. Strong people are calm, composed, and they are mindful of their emotions. So they are people with emotional strength. Strong people are calm, they are composed. Strong people are calm, they are composed, and they are mindful of emotions, of their emotions. People with emotional strength, they are the people with emotional strength, and they have high resilience capacity. They have high resilience capacity. So we should embrace forgiveness. Without forgiveness, we have to carry negative emotions. Without forgiveness, we have to carry negative emotions. So, for example, compare Gandhi versus Hitler. Compare Gandhiji versus Hitler. Gandhiji or Hitler versus Nelson Mandela. Hitler versus Nelson Mandela. Hitler was a power monger. Hitler followed the policy of vengeance, revenge. Nelson Mandela was against apartheid. After the Britishers went out, he has taken up responsibility. He established Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He wanted plural and inclusive society. He wanted to build a system because he was strong. He was not after revenge. He was not after vengeance. He was not after revenge. He was not after vengeance. He wanted to build. He wanted to build a strong society. That's very important. So, forgiveness. For example, Buddha said a statement. Holding anger is like holding on to the fire. Holding anger is like holding on to the fire. It only causes self-harm. Holding anger is like holding on to the fire. It only causes self-harm. So, forgiveness helps us in constructive healing ourselves. So, role of forgiveness, individual level, family level, societal level, national level, international level. Role of forgiveness, individual level, family level, societal level, national level, international level. For example, in family, if you have forgiveness, you can develop a great bonding. It helps in building proper family relationships. In society, intolerance can be ended with forgiveness. For example, if you see recent Manipur issue, recent Haryana issue, Manipur ethnic conflict, Haryana communal conflict, we need to follow forgiveness. It builds social cohesion. Forgiveness builds social cohesion. Society will be properly structured. In the national level, international level, wars will end with forgiveness. Wars will end with forgiveness. For example, Canadian Prime Minister asked forgiveness, said sorry, apologized for Komagata Maru incident. Okay. In the same way, long back, a German chancellor asked forgiveness from the Jews. Forgiveness, if you seek forgiveness, it is not your weakness. Not only if you forgive, even if you seek forgiveness, it is not your weakness. Forgiveness is repentance. Only strong people can ask forgiveness. Only strong people can ask forgiveness. Okay, and forgiveness helps us through a better healing, to develop a special social bonding. And forgiveness also have limitations. It's not that unlimited forgiveness. Though it helps us to restore our relationship, though it helps us for a better society, though it helps us to develop so many things, but forgiveness still have its own limitations. We will have emotional residue. Still, though we forgive others, we'll have that residue. For example, even till date, the Jews have emotional residue over Germans. They have that emotional baggage. They can't forgive totally. The Japanese, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, if you listen to the stories, they'll have that emotional residue. Even if you see Oppenheimer movie, you can take a lot of examples from that. Can you forgive Oppenheimer? Is it his duty, or is he responsible for what he has done for that Manhattan Project? You can take examples from movies like Oppenheimer also. So, crisis of conscience. In ethics also you can write. Crisis of conscience. In ethics also we can write. So, limitations. If you forgive too much, you will become more vulnerable. People might take you granted. Too much of forgiveness is good for nothing. It's not good for the other people also. So, our society, our culture expects revenge. Societal and cultural expectation, even our movies, our culture, they don't want forgiveness sometimes. And forgiveness ends up in sometimes repetitive offenses, repetitive offenders, repetitive offenses, repetitive offenders. Sometimes you might observe lack of remorse from the culprit. A rapist might say, why woman is coming on the roads in the midnight? He won't seek forgiveness. In fact, he will throw blame on women. He won't seek forgiveness. In fact, he will put the blame on women. Lack of remorse from the culprits. They don't seek forgiveness. So, how to overcome certain limitations which are coming out of forgiveness? First of all, everyone who is forgiving should have self-compassion. Everyone who is forgiving should have self-compassion. Self-compassion. Second is taking the help of experts. Second is taking the help of experts. Third is resetting the boundaries. So, when you forgive others, never allow them to come into your space again or do the same mistake again. This is called resetting the boundaries. Resetting the boundaries. And promoting restorative justice. Promoting restorative justice. So, but still, forgiveness is very important, reconciliation is very important. For example, if you see, in Ireland, if you see the issue of Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, there was a Good Friday Agreement, reconciliation. That reconciliation could not happen. That reconciliation could not happen in Sri Lanka. So, you have seen the troubles in Sri Lanka today. You are seeing the troubles in Myanmar. So, what we need is reconciliation and rightful manifestation. Rightful manifestation. So, forgiveness is really the weapon of the strong. Only the strong-hearted people, people with a lot of tolerance and people with a lot of foresight can forgive, not the weak people. Weak people can never forgive, only strong people can forgive. So, you can write an excellent essay. Forgiveness will promote harmony in the society. Forgiveness can help us, it will help us to reinvent ourselves, and forgiveness is a great thing in human life. So, forgiveness is always good. Forgiveness always helps us. Forgiveness is always good, and forgiveness always helps us. I told you there are so many repetitive themes in the essay. I told you one is humanity. Second is purpose of life, humanity and purpose of life. Next is happiness. Next is leadership. Good leader and a bad leader, or power and responsibility. You might get one essay on leadership, which is very, very important. One essay on leadership. So you can prepare anecdotes, quotes, and other things. For example, I do remember a story. APJ Abdul Kalam and Satish Dhawan. APJ Abdul Kalam told about Mr. Satish Dhawan, who was leading the space program at that time. Whenever there was a success, he used to attribute, Satish Dhawan used to attribute to the team. Whenever there was a failure, only Mr. Satish Dhawan used to attend the media conference. He used to take up the responsibility. So with great power comes great responsibility. A great leader shoulders the responsibility. A great leader promotes esprit de corps, team spirit. A great leader promotes esprit de corps, team spirit. So, you are a leader does not mean just a political leader. He might be a mass leader by Mahatma Gandhi. A leader is not a searcher of conscience, he is a molder of conscience. A leader is not a searcher of consensus, he is a molder of consensus. A leader is not a searcher of consensus, but a molder of consensus. A leader should be able to move the masses. A leader should be able to generate the consensus. A leader should be able to take the goal forward, move the movement forward. So, you should be able to write leaders. About leadership qualities, responsibility of a leader, accountability of a leader, sacrifices of a leader, and the quality of empathy of a leader, the team spirit of the leader. And you should collect good examples of it. You should take up good examples of it. That's very, very important. So, you can expect an essay on leadership. And the next essay which you can expect is success and failure. In reflect essays, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is a courage to continue that counts. Even that is very, very important. Okay, we can expect an essay on success also. Okay, and you can expect an essay on contentment. Contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment, purpose of life, as I told you. Okay, so contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment, and purpose of life. Next, you can expect an essay on technology and human life. Technology and human life. For example, recently you got an essay on that. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Or, with respect to success, you got an essay. Courage to accept and dedication to improve are the two keys to success. Courage to accept and dedication to improve are two keys to success. These type of things. So, courage, positive attitude, success, power, responsibility. Related concepts you can expect the theme. Courage, positive attitude, satisfaction, success, related topics you can expect. And the other topic is mindfulness, tolerance, discrimination. Mindfulness, tolerance, discrimination. What is mindfulness? Repeatedly in ethics and essay, you have a concept, you have a terminology called mindfulness. You should use it. What are the fascinating words for UPSC? Mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is reconciliation with the past, practicality in the future, positivity of the future, and taking decisions with right mindfulness, understanding and reconciliation with the past, experiences of the past, and doing well with the future. Living, and the mindfulness is exact meaning is connecting with the past, hoping for the future, living in the present. Living in the present, connecting with the past, and better hope with the future, living in the present. So, right mindfulness is an important word. Right mindfulness is an important word if you observe. So, if you see the previous essays, mindfulness, tolerance, discrimination, I'll tell two or three essays that were asked from this theme. So this year also you can expect this theme: mindfulness, tolerance, and discrimination or non-discrimination. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. I'm repeating, your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. This essay was asked 2 years back. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. In the same way, mindful manifesto is a catalyst to tranquil self. Tranquility means peaceful. when we decide things, when you take decisions with mindfulness, it helps us to be in peace with ourselves. That's the meaning. Mindful manifesto is a catalyst to tranquil self. What do you mean by that? When you take decisions or when you prepare your agenda or plan with proper mindfulness, living in the present, understanding the past, hoping for the future, living in the present, then when you take right decisions with mindful manifesto, it helps to be at peace with you. That is an important statement, very, very important. So, mindfulness, discrimination and tolerance, related theme you can expect. And one more theme that is recurrently appearing in the paper. One more theme that is recurrently appearing in the question paper, reflect essays. They are connecting the word history and human life. History and human life. For example, our past and human life. I can say past, what has already happened, and human life. For example, recently 2-3 essays, I'll read it out. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man or the romantic man. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man or the romantic man. So who is a scientific man? A scientific man who is experimenting, who is empirical, who is practical, who can record the series of events with evidence. A scientific man is an experimenting man, an empirical man, a practical man who can record the things with evidence. Whereas romanticism, who is a romantic man? He is a contemplative man. He lives in dreams, utopia, ideas, not in reality. Okay, history is a series of victories won by the scientific man or the romantic man. So, won by practicality over idealism. Won by reality over idealism. That's the meaning. So, in IR terms, we can use realism versus idealism. Nehru's Panchashil versus Mao's 5-finger policy or expansionism. Or if you see Gandhi, Mandela, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, idealism. But still, it is also an important thing, having a little hope for humanity, fairness for humanity. In the same way, Machiavelli said, a leader must be a fox and lion according to the situation. That is also very important. Real politics is very important. At the same time, idealism is also very important. Peace-loving nature is also very important. Idealism is also very important. Peace-loving is also very important. Pragmatism is also very important. So, scientific man is always pragmatic, practical. Romantic man is impractical. Okay, scientific man always had facts, always lives in reality. He will not always hope in the future, but he will also in the mindfulness of present. Okay, that is also very important. And if you observe, there are some people who are a mixture of both scienticism and romanticism. In IR, you can say Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi follows NAM. At the same time, she is also present. She lives in present. And Indira Gandhi was an important leader of non-aligned movement. At the same time, she also had 1974 Operation Smiling Buddha, Pokhran 1. And she also actively helped Bangladesh to get liberated out. So on the one side, NAM principles. On the other side, Smiling Buddha. So it is better to be practical sometimes. It is better to be practical sometimes. Mahatma Gandhi, he is a mixture of scientific man and romantic man. With Mahatma Gandhi said, in a gentle way we can shake the world. In a gentle way we can shake the world. If you see rise of Singapore, there was a dream. There was romanticism, and the dream was followed and pursued successfully by Lee Kuan Yew. That dream was followed and Singapore was built within a single generation. Singapore transformed from third world country to first world country. Within a single generation, Singapore got transformed from third world country to first world country. Even rise of Israel, rise of Singapore, rise of Israel, if you see, history is a series of victories of scientific men or romantic men. Once you have a dream, you have to pursue it. Even you can interpret the statement in that perspective. Okay, so if you see the other thing, they are giving one more important thing, human choices and human freedom. Other theme is human choices and human freedom. Even this is also very, very important. Human choices and human freedom. Before going into human choice and human freedom, I missed one point. Role of history or role of past in human life. In that context, recently we got one more essay. History repeats itself, first as a tragedy, second as a farce. History repeats itself, first as a tragedy, second as a farce. That is also very, very important. For example, Corona. First time in the first wave, it's like a tragedy. When it entered into third wave, it is something like we have become adopted to it, and people have started making jokes to it. People have become complacent towards it. So when second time or third time the same thing is repeated, it becomes a farce. History repeats itself, first time as a tragedy, second time as a farce. So very, very important statement. The past is permanent dimension of human consciousness and values. One more important thing. So history repeats itself, first time as a tragedy and second as a farce. Lessons need to be learned in the first time itself. You have to learn lesson in the first instant itself. That's the meaning of it. And next statement also is very, very important. The past is a permanent dimension of human consciousness and values. The past is a permanent dimension of human consciousness and values. So if you see a reflective theme, one essay is being given connecting with our past or history to our present life. So one theme you have to prepare. Next theme is human choices, human freedoms. Human choices, human freedoms. So I read out what are the questions that were asked in the past in human choices and human freedoms. Just because you have a choice, it does not mean that any of them has to be right. Just because you have a choice, recent essay, 2022 essay paper. Just because you have a choice to do, that does not mean that that any of them has to be right. Okay. For example, you have a choice to evade tax by using some loophole. That does not mean it is right. You have a choice to cut the trees inside your land and construct a building. That does not mean that what all you are doing is right. You have a choice to construct a very big industry in your country, cutting down the forest. That does not mean what all you are doing is right. You have a choice to use nuclear weapon. That does not mean what all you are doing is right. You have a choice to kill your enemy. That does not mean that killing is right. Okay, just because you have a choice, that does not mean what all you are doing is right. Just because you have a choice, that does not mean what all you are doing is right. So societal acceptance is also very important. Just because society is accepting it, that does not mean it is always right. That is also very important. So if you see dowry, society accepts dowry. That does not mean taking or giving dowry is right. So just because society is, for example, society accepts corrupt people, that does not mean taking corruption is right. Okay. So choices are not universal. They vary with the time and space. For example, sati is a choice. Child marriage is a choice. For example, in olden days, caste system, racism, child marriages, they are choices. Sometimes in America, they have different choice. In Afghanistan, they have different choice. For example, in America, women's rights, and if you see Afghanistan, women's rights. At the individual level, you have the right to use your food, eat your food. But people also throw away food wastage, misuse of water, wastage of electricity, littering waste, etc. National level, corruption, nepotism, misuse of resources, etc. National level, corruption, nepotism, misuse of resources, etc. International level, China expansionism. China has a choice to expand, but it is doing it at the cost of others. Pakistan using terrorism for geopolitics. America blocking appointment of appellate judges in WTO appellate body. It has a choice, but what it is doing is not right. Okay. For example, organization level, Volkswagen flouted environmental rules. Apple scam, trying to break away the taxation laws. For example, Hawala, round tripping of rupees, shell companies. Just because you have a choice, what all you are doing is not right. Choices must be governed by rationality and morality, not by our passion and emotion. Choices must be governed by rationality and morality. Conscience being aware of consequences. We should be aware of the consequence of our choice. Hitler had a choice to kill the Jews. That does not mean what all Hitler done was right. The policy of anti-Semitism was right. It is not right. Choices cannot always be driven by rationality and morality. Sometimes emotions are also important. At the same time, when emotions are important, why it is important? Is it correct to follow only our passion? Hitler followed passion in a bad way. A.Q. Khan, Pakistan nuclear scientist, sold off nuclear technology discreetly to the rogue countries. Whereas Abdul Kalam, a man, sacrificed his entire life for the cause of the country. So you can compare A.Q. Khan versus Abdul Kalam. You have a right to do, but whether your choice is right or wrong is very, very important. Abdul Kalam dedicated entirety of his energy and knowledge to promote nuclear technology for national interest. A.Q. Khan used that technology to sell to the other countries. So both are intelligents, but their choices are not right. Their choices are not right. So you should have all these things to understand. And one more theme, human choice. Best for an individual is not necessarily best for the society. One more question that was asked. Best for the individual is not necessarily best for the society. Whatever is good for you might not be good for the society. Best for the individual might not be good for the society. For example, you are earning lot of money and you are not paying enough tax. It might be good for you, but it might not be good for the society. Your freedom ends where the tip of my nose starts. I want ultimate freedom. At the same time, I should also respect social norms. I should also respect the freedoms of others in the society. Best for the individual might not be the best for the society all the time. So, one theme repetitively that is appearing in the UPSC reflect assess is human choices or human freedoms. And one more theme. The next theme is wisdom, knowledge, rationality. Wisdom, knowledge, rationality. For example, two essays that were asked previously, I wish to read it out and I wish to tell you the theme that is currently appearing. What is research but a blind date with knowledge? One question that was asked, what is research but a blind date with knowledge? Second is wisdom finds truth. Second essay that was asked is wisdom finds truth. So one essay you can expect from wisdom, knowledge and rationality. Wisdom, knowledge and rationality. And one more related thing is decision making. Decision making. One theme they are repeatedly asking is decision making. It is on decision making. I'll read out. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. That was the essay that was asked in 2022. I am repeating. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Okay. So, you have to take the right decision at the right time. For example, when you have enough money, you need to follow austerity. Otherwise, tomorrow you might be at loss. Environment, societal level. You have to protect the environment. You have to protect the environment so that before we cause irreparable damage to it, we have to save our environment. We should use our prudence when the light is there. We should use our prudence when we have that, still we have the chance to repair it. We have to use our vision about tomorrow. We have to think about tomorrow, how we are going to be. So you have tried this as an individual level, societal level, national level, international level. So in decision making, if you see, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Same thing, you cannot step twice in the same river. Same decision making. You cannot step twice in the same river. If you see the values and moral issues, one essay they might give on our value system or moral issues. You can prepare the same answer for ethics paper and all same examples for ethics paper and essay paper. This year we can expect a topic. There are better practices to best practices. Similar topics. There are better practices to best practices. For example, democracy. We can have a better democracy. For example, our own lifestyle discipline. We can have better discipline, better human beings. For example, international relations and wars, international conflicts. We have better practices to best practices. Environmental protection, corruption, women safety, women empowerment, children safety, children in the war zones. We always have the protecting the high seas, oceans. We always have the better practices than the best practices. Similar model essays you can get. So one essay, values and morals, another essay that was asked. Values are not what humanity is, but what humanity ought to be. Values are not what humanity is, but what humanity ought to be. Values are not what humanity is presently, but what it ought to be, how it should be. That is the difference between what is and what ought to be, how we are and how we should be. Compassion, empathy, thinking about others, lifestyle, in all aspects, how the humanity should be, how the humanity's vision should be. The universe belongs to all. So the culture of better practices, tolerance, and universe is one and the same. Humanity, all are the same. They are all integrated in some form or the other. So values are not what humanity is, but humanity ought to be. In the same way, you can get similar topics like the real is rational and the rational is real. You might get utopia and rationality. One essay on idealism and realism. In fact, one theme is rationality versus idealism. One theme is recurring on rationality versus idealism. Utopian is realistic, scientific versus romantic. The real is rational and rational is real. Reality does not conform to the idea but confirms it. Reality does not conform to the idea but confirms it. So, social morality, culture, civilization morality, customary morality, social justice and economic prosperity. Social justice and economic prosperity. The themes are coming up. Simple, to put it in a simple way, realism versus idealism. Realism versus idealism. Utopian versus realistic. Scientific versus romantic. The real is rational, rational is real. Reality does not conform to the idea but confirms it. Culture, civilization, morality, social morality. And customary morality cannot be a guide to modern life. Customary morality cannot be a guide to modern life. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. Culture is what we are. Civilization is what we have. There can be no social justice without economic prosperity. But economic prosperity without social justice is meaningless. Economic prosperity without social justice is meaningless. In the same way, you can expect this year theme on green GDP. Green GDP. Recently they asked a question. Forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. Forests are the best case studies for economic excellence and a self-sustenance. Forests, nobody will go and protect them. The diversity, the richness, they have self-sustenance. So in the similar way, anything can be self-sustained. To become excellent in economy, we should have self-sustained ecosystems. So it is not about environment, it is about self-sustenance. Forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. In the same way, recently there was an essay. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. What do you mean by that? See, generally legislators draft the policies, draft the rules for us, draft the laws for us. Poets also write so many things, what humanity wants, what humanity needs, what humanity expects, how humanity should be, how humanity ought to be, how humanity should be, how humanity ought to be. Poets reflect on the society. They reflect on the society. In the same way, one essay, one theme on women empowerment. One essay, one theme on women empowerment. So, these are the reflective essays themes. If we prepare on these themes in the given lines, I think it is enough with the reflective essays topic. You can do wonders with the reflective essays topic. And for that, what you need to collect? First thing is quotes. Second thing is anecdotes. First is quotes. Second is anecdotes. Third is metaphors. Fourth is the most important thing, great personalities' lives and examples. Who are the great personalities? It might be a common man. Padma Shri awardees. You can go with recent People's Padmas. Means so many people with their simplicity, they got into great, they have changed many lives. They have impacted many lives. Pradhan Mantri Manmohan Singh, PM's Narendra Modi's Man Ki Baat heroes. You can derive your materials from PM Man Ki Baat. Padma Shri awardee list last 3-4 years, particularly common people who achieved uncommon things. Example, Sant Balbir Singh, who cleaned up and restored Kaliben River, a 160 kilometers long tributary of Bias in Punjab. Sant Balbir Singh, a common man who cleaned up and restored Kaliben River, a 160 kilometers long tributary of Bias in Punjab. And you have to write the great people like the simple people like Malala Yousafzai, Aruna Rai. You have to collect the data with respect to these people, and you need to add them in the answer sheet. In the same way, whenever you are writing about some important themes, say for example, happiness. Gandhi said, happiness is what you think, what you do, and what you say are in perfect harmony. For example, you are writing something on Swachh Bharat or cleanliness. Take Mother Teresa. If everyone cleans their doorstep, the entire city will be clean. For example, you are writing about tolerance, intolerance. You write Martin Luther King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. Hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. In the same way, whenever you are writing about poverty, any answer or essay, poverty is the parent of crime and revolution, Aristotle. Poverty is the parent of crime and revolution, Aristotle. So, poverty is the worst form of violence, Mahatma Gandhi. Poverty is the worst form of violence, Mahatma Gandhi. In the same way, Mahatma Gandhi said, it is not the pieces of gold or pieces of silver, it is the health which is the real wealth. It is not the pieces of gold or pieces of silver, it is the health which is the real wealth. And if you are writing about a leader, for example, be the chief but never be the lord. Lao Tzu, he said, be the chief but never be the lord. You be the chief, you lead but never be the lord, L-O-R-D, lord. Okay, and leader is the dealer of hope, said by Napoleon. Leader is the dealer of hope, said by Napoleon. In the same way, if you see, if you prepare some of the quotes on attitude, attitude is a little thing which makes a big difference in life. Attitude is a little thing which makes a big difference in life. Or if you are writing about emotions, it is very easy to become angry. If you are writing about anger, it is very easy to become angry. Every man can become angry. To be angry at the right time, for a right cause, at a right situation, on a right person. To be angry for a right cause, at a right situation, on a right person, at a right time, is an exclusive domain of a brilliant mind. In the same way, you can use Plato said or Socrates said, virtue is knowledge. Say, Plato said, bring all the gold and all the silver upon the earth and inside the earth. You cannot equate it with a virtuous man. bring all the gold and all the silver upon the earth and inside the earth. You cannot equate it with a virtuous man. Socrates said, an unexamined life is not worth living. An unexamined life is not worth living. In the same way, very famous quote, even given by Abraham Lincoln, similar concept was given by Aristotle also. Nearly all men can withstand adversity. Nearly all men can withstand adversity. I count him braver, those who overcome his internal enemies rather than his external enemies. I count him braver, those who overcome his internal enemies rather than his external enemies. So I expect all of you to prepare some quotes to use them in various papers. See, one more important thing which I need to tell you, prepare some of the important quotes which you can use in the multiple papers. For example, when I wrote my mains, I used 2-3 quotes in a multiple ways in multiple papers. I'll tell you 2 examples. For example, Mahatma Gandhi said, this quote I'll tell you how I used in essay, ethics, GS2, so many papers I used, because no teacher corrects more than 4 or 5 questions in any paper. You can use in a multiple way. For example, Mahatma Gandhi said, real Swaraj does not mean acquisition of authority by few, but acquisition of capacity by many to resist the authority when it is misused. I am repeating. Mahatma Gandhi said, real Swaraj does not mean acquisition of authority by few, but acquisition of capacity by many to resist the authority when it is misused. You can use this quote in good governance, in democracy, in RTI, in best practices, anywhere. In the same way, Amartya Sen said, poverty is not lack of money. Poverty is not lack of money. It is lack of capability. Poverty is not lack of money. It is lack of capability to use full potential as human beings. Amartya Sen said, poverty is not lack of money, but it is lack of capability to use full potential as human beings. So you can have similar quotes, 5 or 10 quotations. You can use them in various examinations, various papers, various examination and various papers. And Rabindranath Tagore's poem, Head is Held High, that is also very important. You can by heart that where the mind is without fear and head is held high quote. And also Gandhi's talisman, Mahatma Gandhi's talisman, Mahatma Gandhi's 7 sins, 7 deadly sins, and more importantly, Nehru's tryst with destiny speech, Jawaharlal Nehru's tryst with destiny speech, and all these things. So you can use them in a multiple way. All the best for mains. Hope this class is useful to you. If you do well, if possible, I'll take one similar class for ethics also if you want. Thank you very much. We'll meet again. All the best for your mains. Hope all of you will write your mains very well.